Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a safe weekend. Obviously, there's a lot going on. It's a tough time for us here in the United States, and obviously, the world as well, with a different kind of issue going on. This education for you is to focus on COVID-19, and I'm going to continue to do that. But what I will say is that as physicians, as healthcare professionals around the world, we are obviously watching what's going to happen with the viral cases, with the demonstrations. Something that I want to share with you is that we know that people who smoke cigarettes have an increased risk of disease, both cardiac and pulmonary. Also increased risk of cancer, disease, and obviously death. The estimates are about, for those who smoke in the United States, the death toll is about 450,000 people a year. So cigarette smoking kills about 450,000 people a year. Obviously, if you can stop smoking, please stop smoking. If you have trouble quitting, please see your physician. I'll be happy to help you. I'm sure your physician will be happy to help you. To tie that into COVID-19, evidence has been found that people who smoke, regardless of age, doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50, people who smoke have a potentially worse outcome should they have the disease COVID-19. And researchers have found the reason for that, for what they believe is the reason for that. We talked earlier about, in an earlier video, that the virus, the spike proteins from that virus, enter the cells by attaching themselves to a receptor on those cells. Sort of like a landing dock, for all those who watched the launch this weekend. That was very exciting. So COVID-19 lands on the cell, and the spike protein locks into the receptor called ACE2, ACE2. And that allows that virus into the cell. People who smoke have an increased number of ACE2 receptors in their lungs. So if you increase the amount of locations for a virus to lock into, basically it's allowing a building to have a lot more doors. A lot easier to get into that building. There's a lot more doors than just one door. People who smoke put a lot more doors, a lot more windows in your lungs to allow the virus in, is the way to think about that. So people who smoke tend to do worse with COVID-19. And don't get confused with these risk factors. People over 65 are at the highest risk, whether or not you smoke. People over 65 who smoke are at a much higher risk. But people who smoke, whatever age, are at an increased risk, number one. Number two, which is important to note, if you quit smoking, they have found, within 30 days, within 30 days, the ACE2 receptors decrease in number and therefore decrease your risk for a worse outcome, including death from COVID-19. And most likely just from death from smoking as well, although that has not been proven yet. Studies are ongoing. Take home here is, if you smoke, it's just not the smart thing to do. What I wonder, as I've told you in the beginning, whenever I speak, I'm going to try to keep it as evidence-based medicine. So I'm going to go outside that evidence-based right now. I'm wondering what happens to your spouse or partner if they don't smoke. Because we know that secondhand smoke is dangerous for people. In other words, someone who's living with or around a smoker on a regular basis. I haven't seen the studies done yet. I don't know if the studies are ongoing, but I can't help but wonder as a physician, if one person is smoking in the house, could that increase the risk for your children, your spouse, your partner, from also having a worse outcome from SARS-CoV-2 infection or the disease COVID-19? So just keep that in mind. It's not about shaming you or saying anything else other than if you smoke, I want to help you quit. If you smoke, please quit. Because it's killing you and killing others around you. Real quick before I go, because I had this question come up Thursday and Friday. When is it safe to travel? The medical answer, the strict evidence-based medical answer will be when there is a safe, effective vaccine. That is the safe, effective answer. Someone asked if it was okay to attend a wedding this Saturday at our local church. And my answer to it, and the couple who want to go as guests are over 65. And there's other risk factors as well. And so my initial thought was, I'm going to protect my patient. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to tell them to lock in their house forever. And that's not reality. That's not how life is. We are social beings, and we thrive on being social. So what I found out about this wedding was that only 25 couples are going to be invited to the wedding in a decent-sized church. And all the couples, guests of the wedding, will be 6 feet or more from each other and wearing facial coverings. So my answer to them was, I want you to participate to be a witness to this wedding in our church. Please wear facial coverings. If anyone within 15 feet of you does not have a facial covering on, get 15 feet away. And be witness to the beautiful sacrament of marriage. I understand we need to socially be involved, but it doesn't mean we can't be safe doing it. I'm praying for all of you. I hope we're not in for a rough ride here with everything going on. I pray for the world. We don't know how it's going to turn out with this virus and with the protests. But There are a lot of people who are obviously hurting out there, both sides, and that need a lot of prayer. Have a wonderful Monday evening. I'm a little broken up. Have a wonderful Monday evening. I look forward to doing this again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.